Hello, friends, and welcome back to I Don't Work Here, Lady. Sometimes Karen gets on to someone she'd rather not touch, and today we have 3 stories about that situation. And our first story. I don't work here, but I'm banning you from the store. This happened just 20 minutes ago, and I'm still laughing about it. I was in the Bullseye store with the red vests and shirts, was picking up a few office supplies. I managed 3 restaurants, and one of the office's supplies ran low on staples and printing paper. And the supply truck won't be in till the end of the month, so I gathered the items I needed and headed to the checkout lanes when I heard a banshee-like shrill screaming, "Hey, you!" I look around, and this lady has a person who really does work there cornered, and the poor girl looked to be on the verge of tears. SC, screaming customer. RE, real employee. Me, yours truly. SC, yes, you! Mr. Manager, come here and discipline your employee. She refuses to help me and was very rude and called me some very bad names. Now, I have read enough of these I Don't Work Here posts, and I've always wondered, why doesn't anybody do this? So I gave it a shot. Me to RE, is this true? Were you rude to this lovely piece of humanity? Which made her kind of giggle. RE, no, I just told her I'm on my way home. I just finished my shift. If she needs help, she can ask someone else who'd be more than happy and clocked in. When I told her this, she reached for me. I backed off. I don't like strangers touching me, and I never insulted her. SC, in a high-pitched shrill that would shatter crystal. Liar! You called me all sorts of bad words. When I find my husband, he will have you fired if you don't do something about it. Me, lady, I'm the district manager. I'll ask you to calm down, and if you don't, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store. SC, what? Well, I'm just very upset. Your stupid F word. It's been most distressful. In all my years, I've never been treated so horribly. Me, ma'am, I'm sorry, but you aren't settling down. I'm going to have to ask you to excuse yourself from the premises or be escorted out by security. I pulled out my cell phone and speed dialed my messages. SC, but my husband. Me, go to customer service desk, page your husband, tell him you'll be waiting outside for him when he does finish his shopping. Now leave this store immediately. So I pretend to talk to security on the phone. Yes, we have an unruly customer who needs to be escorted from the store. SC throws what she has on the floor and leaves, screaming and yelling and threatening to sue and shut the store down. I turn to RE and ask if she's okay, and she tells me yeah. She didn't know I was in the store, but was glad I was. RE, I hope I'm not in any trouble. I just worked a double shift and I want to go home. I'm extremely tired and hungry. Me, nah, you're not in trouble. I don't even work here. After a second or two, it sinks in what I said, and RE starts to laugh uncontrollably. I told her I manage the restaurant up the street, and she's welcome to come in and have a free meal on my dime. As I leave for the restaurant, I walk through the parking lot and see the screaming banshee customer sitting in a pickup truck on her cell phone. I could hear her muffled screams and crying, and I figured I'd better get the hell out of Dodge. RE did come to the restaurant and thank me. I told her the offer for the free meal's still good. She took me up on it, but tipped the server really, really well, even though it was a free meal. We talked and laughed about the banshee, and she laughed even harder when I told her RE about seeing her sitting in the truck. Well, because you're being a B-word. I worked in hospitality for almost a decade at the same 4-diamond property in the guest relations services department. After moving on to other things, I tend to visit on occasion and say hey to my friends that still work there. I had a fun time at that hotel and left on a good note, so I welcome the chances I get to venture over and shoot the crap with some old buddies. On one occasion, about a year after I left the company, I was spending the night in a great room that my former boss hooked up for my wife and I on New Year's Eve. I'm up by the front bell stand talking with the dispatcher, hired per my recommendation, proud of that one, who's female and somebody I've known since high school. It was kind of a slow day, nice weather for a chilly afternoon. I'm in jeans, a black polo, and a jacket that's pretty much a ski shell, and an Under Armour hat. This woman, maybe mid-30s, who we'll dub Mrs. Entitled, walks up and dispatch does the usual spiel about checking in and a bellman to follow with luggage. The lady walked to the front desk, bellman swings by the dispatcher to grab her luggage and makes their way inside. I continue talking to friends, and about 10 minutes pass by. Same lady comes back down, marches right up to me and says, "Why didn't you bring the bags up to our room?" Quite angrily. I stared at her for a moment, a little weirded out by the interaction, and just responded with, "Ma'am, I don't work here." "Bullcrap. You were supposed to bring the bags up and somebody else did it. Are you too lazy or too stupid to do your job?" Rule number 1 in hospitality for any hotel guests, do not insult the former or current staff of a hotel or other guests. Not only do we have the right to refuse service to you, we now have the means. If the berating continues after that, we have reason to walk your reservation, kick you out. Management can and will back up low-level employees on this, especially with witnesses. Again, I worked for this property for a number of years, and I dealt with several hostile guests over the years. I simply responded, "Ma'am, I just told you, I don't work here. If I were an employee, I probably wouldn't bring your bags up because, well, you're being a B-word." Mrs. Entitled only heard that last bit, turns to the dispatcher, demands to speak with a manager, who's thankfully on lobby duty. Dispatch directs her in. I watch as a very angry woman goes up to one of the calmest people I've ever worked for and lays into him about my behavior. I can see him direct Mrs. E to a chair in the lobby bar, indicating for her to sit. Boss man then walks outside to me and after a brief greeting says, "All right, what actually happened?" I lay into the story, short and sweet. Boss man smiles a little, gets a small chuckle, and says, "Follow me." We walk back to a woman with a very confident demeanor who believes she's about to get an apology when Captain Amazing goes, "Ma'am, I want to understand how you mistook one of our guests for an employee, then insulted him after he explained himself." If you've ever seen someone or been the person who's caught reading their spouse's text messages or emails and their face just goes beet red and a plague of "I effed up" starts appearing on their face like bad acne, that was this woman's face. She then started to cry for who knows whatever reason and is beside herself when the boss man says, "Perhaps our services are not up to your standards. If you'll come with me, I'll set you up somewhere else." By the way, did I mention it's New Year's? This property is slow because of the price. Otherwise, you might get a room at a Residence Inn or Hampton 20 miles away. The bellman that initially took her luggage was also the one to take it back downstairs. I spoke to him before he went up, and he came back down. He just looked at me and said, "All right, what'd you do?" It's a costume. No, really. My office had a Halloween-themed sales event today where everyone had to come in costume. Since I don't otherwise dress up for Halloween, I didn't really want to burn any money on a single-use costume, so I asked a mechanic friend if I could borrow one of his jumpsuits from work, and he obliged. This was both good and bad because it was a free costume and it had a comedic element. Anyone who works with me knows I have a medical condition that disqualifies me from driving, so I've never owned a car, let alone worried about car maintenance. So I was at the bus stop on the side of the road in my costume when a frantic woman runs up to me. FW, frantic woman. FW, "Sir, excuse me, my car broke down and I have no idea what's wrong. I'm headed back to work and really can't wait for a tow. Would you mind taking a look?" Me, "Oh, sorry, this is actually just a costume." FW, "Do I look like I was born yesterday?" Me, "No, really, I'm headed to a Halloween thing." FW, "At 8 a.m. on a Monday? Look, if you don't want to help me, just be man enough to say so. Don't go making up a wild story." Me, "I can't help you. I don't even drive. I've never even owned a car. I'd help if I could." FW, "A mechanic who's never owned a car. Why are you jerking me around?" Me, "I'm not a mechanic. This is a costume." FW, "I've got a baby in there. You're going to let a baby sit in a hot car because you're too lazy to take a quick peek under my hood?" Me, "I thought you said you were going to work." FW, "Well, that's beside the point. Are you going to help me or not?" Me, "I can't. I'm not a mechanic." FW, "I'm not stupid." Me, "I didn't say you were stupid. I said I'm not a mechanic." FW, "I'm going to call your boss and tell him all about this. You better believe I'm posting it on Yelp, too." Me, "You don't think it's the least bit strange that a car mechanic is here at a bus stop?" FW, "Turn around. Let me see where you work." My buddy's company logo's on the back of the suit and his name is embroidered on the front. Me, "Whatever, fine." FW dials and puts it on speaker. FW, "You have 2 seconds to change your mind. You're about to get fired." Me, "Doubt that. You don't know where I work." She sputtered inaudibly. BB is Buddy's boss. BB, "Generic auto shop. How can I help you?" FW, "Yes, my car is broken down on the side of the road and your mechanic won't help me get it started." BB, Ma'am, are you sure you've got the right shop name? We don't offer roadside assistance." FW, "Well, I didn't call for roadside assistance, but he's right here and refuses to help me." BB, "Ma'am, mechanics don't have to do anything outside of the shop or off the clock. You want roadside assistance recommendation or..." FW, "You don't understand. He offered to take a look and took $20 from me. Now he's not doing anything. He's just standing here refusing to help me." First of all, bald-faced lie. I've rarely seen an adult lie so shamelessly and out of nowhere. Second, if I just ripped her off for $20, why would I still be there? It wasn't even a well-conceived lie. BB. Oh, well, we can't have that. You sure it was one of my guys? Did you catch his name tag? FW. It says Mike. BB. Calling to someone in the back. Hey, did Mike leave? My buddy. Mike. Nah, boss, what's up? BB. Listen, I don't know who this is, but don't be prank calling this line again. BB hangs up, and I just smile dumbly at FW. Me. Anything else I can help you with? FW. You're all just grease monkeys. Thank God I went to college and I'll never be stuck at a job like this and have morals and wouldn't leave a woman stranded on the side of the road and play such a mean trick. And she was still going on and on as I got on the bus. I called the shop to explain once I got on the bus, and we all had a good laugh. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed today's stories, and we'll see you soon.